Okay, student. Yesterday we already discussed about the vector. So we already said that in physics we represent a vector with the help of this arrow. So whenever you see the physical quantity with arrow, so we can say this is the vector quantity. For example, like force. So if the arrow is up on the force, so this means this is the vector quantity. Same like velocity, so this is also a vector quantity. Same like acceleration, this is also a vector quantity. Same like displacement, so this is a vector quantity. And we simple say this arrow represent the vector, so this is called our vector. Okay, like yesterday we study the addition of vectors, so today we know about and study about the negative of vector. So how we know the negative vector? So here the simple definition is given. Two anti-parallel vectors are said to be negative vector if they have same magnitude. So what is the meaning of this negative vector? Like here, one thing I will add, so same magnitude but opposite direction. Like how? For example, we have a vector A. So if I want to make the negative of vector A, so simple, draw a vector which is opposite to this vector, mean the direction is opposite. So this means this is the negative of vector A. And here also, yeah, our negative of vector A is minus B. Here also, if I draw the, how can I draw the negative of vector P? So simple, just change the direction of P. So this will show the negative of vector P. Here also again we discuss two anti-parallel. Anti-parallel mean opposite. Vector are said to be negative vector if they have same magnitude but opposite in direction. Okay, for a negative vector, one thing remember, so if we add the negative of any vector, so their resultant or their sum must be equal to 0. Like how, let's suppose here is two vector is given, this is the positive vector. If I add some magnitude or given some value, let's suppose 5 Newton, so this will be minus 5 Newton. So here if we add these two vector plus A and minus A which are in opposite direction, so the sum of these two vector must be equal to 0. For example, this is positive A vector plus, and this is the negative vector. So the sum of these both must be equal to 0. How? If we put the value, like this one is 5 Newton plus the second one is also 5 Newton, we can say 5 Newton minus 5 Newton, which is equal to 0. So we say that the negative of a vector A is defined as given vector sum of 0 value, when we add it minus A, that is A plus minus A, which is equal to 0. The vector A and minus vector A or negative vector A have same magnitude but are in opposite direction, and their resultant must be equal to 0. Okay, same like negative vector or subtraction, both are same terminology or same things, there is no difference. But here in the previous page we see the negative vector, but both the vector are have same or opposite direction exactly. But here if we talking about the subtraction of vector, so the first thing is that the vector must be, or sometimes they have opposite direction, or maybe sometimes they are not in opposite direction, but we can also subtract one vector from another vector. So here, like let's suppose this is the positive vector, and I want to add these two vectors by using the triangle method, or if we see the definition, the subtraction of b, this is the b vector from vector A. From this vector is defined as the addition of minus b to vector A. First, you know that how can we make the negative of vector b? So very simple. Just change the direction of vector b. So if we change the direction of vector b with same magnitude, so this vector will show the negative of vector b. So here we can also add these two vector using the triangular method. In triangular method we can also say that head to tail method. Like let's suppose this is the vector a, this is the vector b, and first we add these two vector, and this is the addition of these two vector a plus b by using the head to tail method. And the second one, subtraction. How can we subtract the vector b from vector a? First we draw the a vector, then if I subtract the vector, so then I use this vector minus b here, like this one. I already draw these vector. This is the negative of vector. So, and the resultant vector we can draw from the tail of the first vector to the head of the last vector. So this will show the a minus b. Here one thing is mentioned here, like a minus b will be equal to a plus minus b. So this is called subtraction of vector by using the triangular method. Okay, next in next page we are talking about the collinear vector. What is collinear vector? For the collinear vector there must be two vector or more vector, but if they are in the same line, so we can say these are called collinear vector. How? For example, vector A and vector B, both vector are lie on the same line. Like let's suppose these two vector are on the same line. So this is called collinear vector, or we can say vector A and B are collinear. Here also, here the direction is opposite, but here the direction is same, but both the vector are on the same line. So this is called collinear vector. So let's see the definition here. Two vector or more vectors are said to be collinear vector if they act along a same line. So this is collinear vector. Okay, co-initial vector. Initial means start. So two or more vector are said to be co-initial vector if they have common initial point. Like how? If we have different vector like a, b, c, d, but these all vector start from the same point, like this point. Look at vector a is also start from this point, vector b also start from this point, vector c also start from this point, and vector d is also start from this point. We can say these all vector their starting point are same. So this types of vector is called co-initial vector. Okay, next one, coterminous vector. So what is coterminous vector? Coterminous vector or terminus or terminal mean the ending point or end point or finishing point. If we have two or more vector, if they are finish or their arrow together on the same point, so this is called coterminous vector. Like how? If we have this vector, the another one is this vector, the third one is like this vector, and this is the next vector. For example, this is P vector, this is Q, this is R, and this is S. But they are all head part of the vector are combined on the same point. So this types of vector is called coterminous vector. Coterminous mean or terminus mean finishing point or finishing or terminal. Okay, the last one is multiplying a vector by a scalar. So it's very simple, student. How can we multiply a vector by scalar? Scalar mean, yesterday we already discussed. Scalar mean a unit with number is called scalar. For example, here I mentioned the vector A. If I want to multiply 2 with vector A, so here is already 1. So if we multiplied the 2 with a 1, so we increase the size of vector A. Like how? If we have a vector C, if I want to multiply it 3, mean like 3 multiplied by C, so we can increase the size of this vector. Like this is 1 C, this is second, and this is the number third. So we simple say this is called 3C. So this is called multiplying a vector by a scalar. Here is also, for example, if we multiplied the negative number with any vector, so then because of this negative size, the direction is also changed. The direction of vector A is toward the positive side, but if we multiply the negative value, so their direction will also be changed. Like how? If we have a vector Q and I want to multiply it 2 with Q, minus 2 with Q, sorry. So this will change the direction. This is first Q and this is the second Q, like minus 1 minus 1 Q. Or we can simply say this is minus 2 Q. Okay, student, if you have any kind of question about today's topic for the subtraction of vector, collinear vector, coterminous vector, or multiplying of vector, so you can ask with the help of comment. Thank you so much for today's lecture.